If you're looking to get fiber internet installed, here's a few things to keep in mind before you do. Service is new to our area, so your mileage may vary. In our case, the fiber reaches the house as an aerial cable. It may also come in as a buried cable. Not so much of a fan of how tightly this was stuck through the vent here. Going to make sure there's a bit of a drip loop so water doesn't run into the attic. Going to use the double zip tie technique to make sure it cannot chafe through. The fiber line connects to the Optical Network Terminal, or ONT, and for us, that's where the surprises began. Customer information and the sales rep said to choose a location for the network equipment where there was a grounded outlet. We had a location, and I added an outlet. Can't get too much more centrally located than the hallway in the middle of the house. Central location is important for getting good signal from the access point, so the router lives here too. After the walkthrough and telling the technician where we wanted the equipment, he informed us that apparently they don't do attics. To be fair, attics can be terrible. It definitely could be worse though. See, that's not too hot in here. For those not used to cheeseburger units. That's really tolerable. There's a vent where the cables enter, and they only have to go a little ways over that way to get down into the closet. I've definitely worked in far worse places than this. Something that does tip me off that this was an unusual case is the guy who ran the overhead cable gave us enough slack to get all the way to the other end of the house and poke out that vent. It seemed to be the assumption that it would be run through the attic. Since I was more comfortable working in the attic, we got it done as a team. The technician fed the cable in from the outside through the vent, while I pulled it across the attic and popped the hole through the ceiling to get it down into the closet here. Once the tough part in the attic was done, the rest of the install went pretty quickly. The tech even put a little plate on to help disguise where the cable came down through the ceiling. Crooked power supply isn't such a big deal. This area is due for a refresh, so the equipment can be adjusted and leveled out then. Certainly much better than how the old coax was punched through a giant hole in the closet ceilings. Better than the one they ran across the roof. And I mean across the whole roof. In terms of performance of the network, we're really satisfied. As for quality of the install, well, that's a mixed bag. I did still have some questions about whether that tech was right in saying that they don't work in attics anymore. I reached out to customer service to get some answers. Took a little bit to navigate through a automated menu going in circles, but eventually got to a real human. She was very helpful, but neither she nor her supervisor had any knowledge of a company policy forbidding work in attics. Reached out for more information online, and a few technicians I was able to get a hold of said that they might have local rules in their area about where they're allowed to operate. One said the official policy is the attic needs to have a light and a catwalk, but he would also do attic work anyways if the customer was polite. So what's the takeaway here? Well, your mileage may vary. If we weren't so well prepared with me willing and able to crawl through the attic to help pull the cable, we may not have gotten what we were asking for and expecting. It wouldn't all be lost since the ONT does have a Mocha adapter built in, so just use the existing coax cables in the attic and we could probably get the networking gear to approximately where we wanted. But if the coax in our attic was damaged or missing, not sure how that would have worked out. Would the ONT and the router be slung off the side of the house with an extension cord, leaving that as all of our networking? Would we have had to hire another installer to get cables pulled through the attic to where we wanted them? I'm not entirely sure. At this point, it's hard to tell. One thing to note is the installer was a subcontractor working for the ISP. I did reach out to that company, but I've not gotten a response and I'm not super hopeful I'll get one. Again, this is just one data point of our experience and the little bit of info I was able to get online and from customer service. Your ISP and your area may differ. If you are planning to get new service installed, it's a good idea to do some more research and ask around. Anyone else in the neighborhood had it installed? In our case, we're one of the really early adopters in our neighborhood, so we might be the first data point we had. I hope you found this useful. If you did, consider checking out some of my other stuff. I do a range of garage shenanigans type content, so there might be something else you'd enjoy. Thanks for watching.